Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy. As you can see, I've got a new camera angle, or you may not be able to tell. So I apologise if I'm a bit off screen or things go a bit awry. Hopefully it'll be okay. So, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. We got a new prompt. Autumn Birds, I believe the title of the prompt is. Now, these are obviously summer birds because they're flowers, but I just wanted a basic bird shape, and I'm going to put them on the sort of twiggy type things. That's my plan. So, as always, I've got the light box, and I have got a piece of fabric. Now, this piece of fabric has already got some stamped fabric added to the edge of it. I did that a little while ago. I've got my hubby's light trace, so I'm sorry for the glare, but we need to get this picture put onto here. I've tried to put all this on before turning the light on so that it's not too bad for you. Going to use my heat erasable pen. So, how are you all? What have you all been up to? Are you all okay? Busy crafting away? Excited to have a new prompt? Or are you still trying to finish the last one? I did have a look in my Edith Holden book, but I couldn't really find a bird that I liked, which is why I went scouring. And basically, actually that's a bit rubbish, Claire. It should be more there. I can't obviously put, that's better. I can't obviously put my iron on hubby's light box. So, right, watch your eyes for a minute. Oh, it is that round. In fact, I think it's rounder. There you go, that's better. It'll work out eventually. Sorry. So, how are you? You happy to have a new prompt? And I suppose those of you that were here last week are waiting for the sofa update. Well, I'm very pleased to tell you the sofa is indeed in situ. It did come on the Thursday without problem, as we had hoped. I must admit, go off out. I said to hubby, I don't want, that looks like a really rubbish bird, Claire. What have you done here? I really don't want, an encore of last week. And if it's gonna be a problem, then I don't want to be involved in that. So I'm sorry, but I'm leaving it to you, and I'm going off out. There you go, that's as good as I think it's gonna get. So we'll turn that off. Oh, they look pretty abysmal, don't they, Claire? I wonder, I think I might have to get my iron and iron that off and start all over again. Sorry, the story of the sofa. I did think that it might be funny to actually say to you, oh, and despite what the guy said to me, I couldn't believe it. It was actually the same guys that turned up, he. But I thought, no, that was mean and nasty and not the truth. So, yeah, I went off out on the Thursday morning and left hubby to await the delivery of the sofa. And when I came back, I was all like, well, brace yourself for it not being there, you know, as I was parking the car. But no, good as gold. I opened the door and there it was, sitting there. So, and I said to hubby, oh, it's here then, you know. And he said, yeah, guys turned up. They were here less than 10 minutes. And they brought it in and all was good with the world. I've just realised that paper was folded double and it's quite thick paper, so that might explain why I couldn't see properly. That's my excuse. I couldn't see properly. I don't know if that's true, if I'm just rubbish at drawing, but I'm going with that excuse. So let's turn this back on. No, I'm obviously just rubbish at drawing because I don't feel I can see that any better at all. But hey ho, there you go. So we're coming round and up with his beak. So yes, it's in. Everything has been moved round. And I'm in my happy craft room space. That's better, isn't it? And then it's all moving. I should have taped it down. That would have probably made a bit of difference. And there's his eye. Does look better actually, doesn't it? So yeah, it's in and I'm in my new space, and it was a very good choice because I feel so much more comfortable in the evenings when I'm sitting in front of, you know, the telly doing my stitching or whatever. And it's a lovely new sofa and all's good with the world. The only problem is I have discovered that's better, isn't it? I think. Anyway, we've got these to, I feel like, as much as I can't draw, I feel like I can probably draw it a bit better by eye, really. Even though I can't draw. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good choice. I'm very happy. I'm glad I made the decision to do it. But there is one problem, and that problem is that I hadn't realised that the sofa's not quite as big as I thought it was. And now having rearranged, oh, they're not too bad, are they? I'm not happy, I've got to be honest, but that's what I think we're going with. And then we're going to have like a branch that comes off here. Sorry. Having got it all in and realised that the sofa's not quite as big as I thought it was, there's now the need for a chair. which will make, you know, an ideal stitching chair, won't it? So that's what's going to happen. So the chair's on order. I've ordered a new rug as well. You see, you just get totally sucked in, don't you? But it is what it is. I'm hoping that once I stitch it up, it'll look a little bit better than it looks at the moment. Can't look much worse, can it? Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of the sofa saga. Right, now we've got it drawn. Let's move this out of the way. We don't really need the picture anymore. Now I've chosen rust, brown, grey and black, and I'm gonna try and do like spiky birds with, oh look, that's handy, with needle threading. So what I intend to do, rightly or wrongly, is I'm just going to do lots of little straight line stitches basically, and we'll see what happens. So I'll take that one off as well, because that'll give me a little bit more space. And we've got to remember that obviously, or I've got to remember, not you, that obviously the feathers are going to run in a set way. So I'm hoping that I can just sort of do lines a bit like this. And just bring them sort of out from the area that the beak's going to be in. And just sort of spread them up like this. I don't know if I'm doing right or wrong. I don't know if it's going to look totally weird, but this is what I'm doing. I'll probably hate it when it's done, but hey, well, it sounds very negative, doesn't it? So yeah. So I just want to follow this beak line. So yeah, apart from the arrival of the sofa, finally, and deciding that I should have ordered a chair as well, that's about where we're at. Oh, it sounds like there's an argument going on next door. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I've just realised this is 6 strands, isn't it? So I don't know what on earth I was doing with 6 strands. I just want to, I've got a picture on my computer screen, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm doing what I think I'm doing. See, I think it'll sort of be alright when it's stitched, to be honest. We'll see how we go. Don't try, don't know, do you? So yeah, I'm sorry, I've got no other stories this week. It's all been a bit sort of plain and ordinary. We are a bit cramped at the moment though, because having moved everything and got it all where I wanted it, they haven't yet come, because we've arranged one of those council rubbish collection things, and they haven't come yet and taken the old suite away. So I've still got the old suite in here, which is why I know there's plenty of room to have a sewing chair down by the fire. So that's what we're going to do, or have done basically. So I want to come to about this line here, because I feel like that's his head shape, and then I'm gonna sort of do my stitches a different direction and hope it works the way I think it's gonna. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna have one more in there and bring that out just past that line. So you see, I'm not really following these lines anyway, I'm just using them as a guide. And tuck all that in there. Okay. Now, I think we'll have some black. This is obviously the sheep is just black. And I'm going to pop this in here. Oh, it sounds like there was an argument, because it sounds like he's just slammed the door and gone out. Right. So, I've got his head in, and I want some darker flashes in his head, because obviously at the moment he looks a bit bald, doesn't he? So I think this one might well be a 2-weeker. There's quite a lot of stitching going to be in here, isn't there, if I'm going to do it this way. if this is going to work. See, I should be just sitting back and trusting the process, but perhaps it's because I wasn't overly happy with the original drawing. Perhaps it's because I've got, do you know what? I'm not happy. I am actually gonna cut all that out. I think it's because of the 6 strands. It's just too bulbous for my liking. So I'm just gonna pull all of that out. Oh, actually, do you know what? I never thought about that. But if you trim it, you get like a fluffy bird, don't you? Ooh, see? You get like a feathery bird. Look at that. No, it really, it really does look like a poor sparrow that's lost all his feathers. Oh dear. See? I share all of it with you. The good, the bad, the ugly. It's probably not even on screen. And I do get a bit cross with myself because all that thread is now obviously going in the bin, but I'd rather do that because every time I look at it I'm going to be angry. So we are going to unpick it. End of story. Right, we'll move the black that's on the needle. But we've got church window on that page when we get there. I hope there's an appropriate prompt for that. Because this is the 3rd autumn one, I think, isn't it? So we're going to go into November next. So depending on what the prompt is, might be able to get some snow and stuff going on. There you go. Gone. So let's start again with that. And as I've got black in the needle, I'm gonna tie a knot in the thread because that seems like a really sensible thing to do when it's already all going wrong. And I have actually tied a literal knot. Oh, for goodness sake. Disaster zone. So we're going to have to cut that. I suppose I should have cut it short in the first place. We'll tie another knot and we'll start all over again. With the needle threading disaster. Although how it can be hard to thread this needle when it's got the biggest eye in the world, who only knows. Right, let's start that again. So starting at the beak end, I want to do like thread painting to create this bird. So I suppose it's not really thread painting because I'm not painting on anything, am I? But it's how I visualise it. Lots of singular little lines. Like that. And then just using these lines as a bit of a guide. Or like the head. Coming round. And then trying to give him a little bit of character by kicking out a little bit, I think. Right, doesn't look much like a bird head at the moment, does it? But hopefully, once we fill that in, and then if I come in a little bit and just sort of do slightly different angle, so he's got quite a dark head, but then we've got only little bits of the black coming into his body, like that. And then we want one there to sort of splay down a little bit to there. Does that make any sense to you? And I've got some thread left, so there's a particularly wide one there, wide gap, so I'm just gonna do a random one there, and then pull another sort of random one there. I'm basically, as you, in case you hadn't noticed, just making it up as I go along. Got no clue what I'm doing really. Oh dear. Why do I get myself roped into these things? Mind you, last week, week before, I think it was week, anyway, we did padded flowers, didn't we? There we go. That's the end of that piece of thread. So we just feed that up now, like that. Looks a bit like chicken to me, I don't know. But anyway, now I'm going to put in some of the proper brown. And also some of the grey. So, oh, and have some coffee. It's getting quite dark outside. So, come all the way back down to his head now with the grey and start doing some grey stitches. Sorry, not grey, brown. I'm going to do grey in a minute. Then we do quite a long one with that one, I think. And then short one there. And just basically colouring in is what I'm doing. Which I presume is why it's called thread painting. Never really thought about it before. I'm waffling away. Oops. Don't go around the scissors, Claire. That's not going to be very helpful, is it? I feel like this is something that you really need to do off camera, because it's a lot of fiddling around. I don't think it's conducive to a video, to be honest, but hey ho, we started, so I want to get back up in his head here. I'm surprised Boo's not been down, screaming for some food, because it's 5 o'clock. It is food time in her world. I can see me pulling all this out as well, you know, but we'll see how we go. I can see me turning off the camera, pulling it all out, and then when you come to see it next week, it looking completely different. Let me see. Actually, maybe not. We'll see. It's one of them things. I feel like I've got to go a lot further before I can really make a decision about whether or not I like it. So it is what it is. Right, now obviously that wing is going to go off that way. So again, I need to keep an eye on the direction of my stitches. But I think it's all a bit of a learning curve really, isn't it? Actually, maybe it is working. Sorry, see, this is the trouble. I'm thinking too much rather than just stitching it. Now, see, if I had a story to tell you, I'd be busy talking and not thinking, and I wouldn't be worrying about whether or not I'm going to like it when it's done. I'd just be doing it, as it were. I have to... Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Got a bit of a knot. Okay. It's not very interesting to watch, is it? Sorry. Oh, I had a comment the other day from a lady. Just really tickled me. And I'm sure, bearing in mind, you know, all the comments are visible if you bother to look, that she won't mind me mentioning it. But she said, I've just found you. And then I can't, she said something along the lines of, you're completely off your head. But in a good way. It just really tickled me because she's 100% on. Yeah, I am totally crazy. Oh dear. But you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so that's that colour. I'm going to introduce some of that orangey rust now and see if that makes me feel any better. Now this is a 6-strander and I probably shouldn't have pulled that off. I'm probably going to get told off completely for doing that, but anyway, I'll split this down because we only want maximum of 3, but it seems to be separating as 1, 2. So do you know what we are going to have? Oh, I can't pull it out. See, now I've got a knot. It's all going wrong in the world. Okay, let's pull one thread out at a time, Claire. That's what it's supposed to do, isn't it? Look at the state of this. What am I doing? Oh, there you go, I've done it. 2 strands pulled out. And I'm going to do this quite sparingly. I don't think we want a lot of orange in there. It's like the grey. I wanted the orange and the grey to just be accents. Seriously, Claire, how can you... Look at the size of that eye. It's absolutely... How on earth can you not get both those strands? Well, it might be because you've ended up with 3. See, it wanted me to have 3, didn't it? Where's the needle gone? Oh my goodness, it's all going pink tong. Well, if I can't get this in here, I think we'll just give up, because I feel like it's all just going wrong this afternoon. And maybe I should just go and get another cup of coffee and be done with it. Nope. Right, I'm going to try once from the other end. And then I'm going to seriously give up. See, that was the universe telling me, Claire, you've got 3 stitches at one end and 2 stitches at the other, and that's why it wouldn't thread, isn't it? So what we're going to do is going to cut that off. We're going to do a big knot there, and that is the end, which means we have to get this end through the needle and cut ourselves a fresh end. Let's approach this methodically. Last chance before I turn the camera off. Come on, don't miss. Right, well, this is obviously not going to work, is it? So rather than leaving you sitting there watching me trying to thread a needle, I'll leave you with my rather ugly, scary looking bird and say, as always, thank you so much for spending time with me. Stay safe. I'll see you again very soon. Ta-ta for now.